Hey guys, it's been about 2 weeks since I've last posted an update, and um, good reasons for that. I was trying to figure out some business things and really wanted to solidify those before making another video. And while we're on that, I just want to provide some more updates on what's been happening. As for this fan project that I'm doing, so I built it out in Webflow for the most part. I just have to add a few more animations, but so far, like changing the button states to be what they are, and then adding some animation on this logo, and then animations here, and then this is pretty much built out through the CMS, and then I got this sweet little unmasking section. Shout out to Malachi for helping me visualize it. I couldn't really figure out how to wrap my head around it, but using like position elements like sticky and then messing with the Z index and then the size of like this tour section to like create this mask out effect have really helped pretty well. And for this, I just need to either decide whether I want to use a background video or if I want to use some sort of code to have some paths that lead to the button, and then create this like stroke effect where like the paths will all lead to the button and then give it some sort of stroke when you hover it. And then this is the footer, and then if we go into the about, I probably have to change the picture because I don't really like this picture, and then add some pictures here for this little section about like why Eric likes music and such, and then some personal favorites that I have designed in the Figma file that look like uh, this kind of format, and I kind of reuse this format for another project that I'm about to walk through, but I might change this up because I'm not sure how I would optimize it on mobile besides like removing the animation. And I still want to keep this like unique-ish layout throughout the project. So going back to the Webflow thing, that's pretty much it for that. And then for the tour, nothing special. It'll probably contain like the secondary call to action and then the footer. Um, some other things that I've been up to. I've been trying to put some green on my GitHub and try to do like a front end challenge every day. So that could consist of like HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. And I haven't found much difficulty with like CSS and Java or CSS and HTML. I think the only thing with CSS is it could get a little tricky getting the elements to lay out the way I want them to. And another thing that I've been working on is learning React. And I've been trying to get more comfortable using VS Code and just importing um, React components and then learning Tailwind CSS as well. I've been following this tutorial from JavaScript Mastery, and it's been pretty helpful understanding concepts. I thought React would be a lot more difficult than it was. I guess I just intimidated myself for no reason, but um, I don't know why that's not clicking. Oh, nice. So basically, like we designed this website using an existing thing, but basically the things I learned were that if I'm using a component more than once, so say like my nav bar or my footer, then I can just create React components of that and then put my prospective like children element within my main container for like more semantic HTML to optimize the SEO. And then once the children are wrapped in main, they get called, and basically in this page for the home app, our children in this case would be our 5 sections. I've only followed along to the point where I have 2 sections laid out, and these are actually also components. So like my hero section is a component, and then my camp section is also a component. And I still have to go through this code more and like look through ChatGPT and like try to like explain it to myself. I think it's mainly the Tailwind that I'm a bit unfamiliar with, just because most of the classes that are used, I'm not sure what they entirely do, but for the most part, There's a typo right there, but for the most part, it's like I understand most of it just because of Webflow and like utilizing a framework, a CSS framework for my builds, which is Mass, and it looks pretty decent. I won't lie. And then I mentioned earlier in the video that I was talking about figuring out some business things like for my model and such. So I've decided to niche down into interior design, and just based off of researching on Google of like how much opportunity there is in there, how much growth is projected for the industry. I think it's a good investment to get into, or like a good niche to get into, but that's just me. And then some other things that I've been working on, this landing page for a design challenge hosted by Lamine, great guy. He runs this community called Relentless Mastermind, and I try to help out with most of the design or like Webflow stuff just to help newer users get going. But I'm having these two designs because, like I mentioned in my portfolio, or not, yeah, my portfolio, that I think it's better to have two sets of the homepage like for your wireframes in order to really decide what your final design should be. So like this one is a little more like on the grid and like really following these columns, but this one I'm trying to mess with the placement a little more. And then my other strategy that I'm trying to implement is, one, I'm trying to understand more about the interior design industry and trying to figure out what kind of pain points they have and like what makes it hard for them to establish like their web presence or their website in general. So those are things I'm keeping note of and studying and trying to get myself involved in these spaces. But this is a quick little redesign that I mentioned that I reused from my Eric site or fan site, where I took someone's what do you call it, interior design website, and I just applied some changes to think like how I could improve it. So the things that I wanted to touch on were displaying more work, and that's why we have these 6 little frames here, and then improving the navigation to just be at this top bar so we can give more space to this hero section, and then having a value proposition, and then the whole each one being this eye-catching phrase, and then a call to action button to inquire. So those are most of the things that I've been working on aside from general web design practice. I think I've decided to learn more code in terms of like GSAP and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then messing around with the React frameworks, because eventually my end goal with all of this is to create immersive, engaging websites. And I think by learning React and more code that I'll be able to create more 3JS websites. So that's just mainly the goal that I have, and I'm pretty excited to report back on how this will go, where I share most of these web pages with like interior design groups and just try to give more feedback to mainly understand more problems and the industry itself, and sharing how I can help fellow interior designers who are establishing their website or some sort. But that's it for me for now. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side, and I'll see you later. Peace.